Hello everyone, what's up? It's me and Junkmaster3, and I'm back with a new horror review for you guys. In today's video I'm going to make a review of the film called Metal Noir, which is apparently was a lost shot on video film that was released back in 1990, directed by David R. Williams. One thing that really got me worried when I watched the back of this is that it says let's see, Charles Pinion was involved in this, and he did three films called Twisted Issues, Red Spirit Lake, and We Await. I've not seen Twisted Issues, but I have seen Red Spirit Lake and We Await, and I thought both of those were really bad and atrocious. So I fear the worst with this one. Apparently, it also has Hugh Gallagher in it, and he's the guy who directed Gorgasm, Gorotica, and Gorehor. I think it was Gorgasm that I watched, and I didn't like that one very much either. So I went into this with very low expectations. And this film was basically about a girl named Laura. She moves into this haunted house. Basically, I mean, it's not really. I don't really think they mention that right away if it's haunted or not, because the opening scene is basically about this guy who has some weird thing that he just shoves into his head, and he's sitting in some basement somewhere. You don't really know where he is. And then when Laurel appears in this, not appears, when she arrives at this home, she's been told by one the girl who's supposed to sell this house to her that it has been burnt down at some point, and the basement is the only thing that is still the original setting or whatever. And then for some reason I found it really strange that the person that's gonna sell this house is telling this poor lady oh, it's probably haunted. I mean, I don't think you get very many houses sold at that point if you say that. But Laurel still accepts the offer and buys the house because she might think that the house itself could give her some inspiration for her horror novel that she's writing. So. And then after a while, her I think it's her boyfriend that appears. I used to basically call him Batman because the first time he shows up, he has a Batman shirt on him. I think it's called Eric, I believe, the character. I mean, I don't really remember the characters very well. So that's basically it. And then she gets for some reason she goes out in this open field, in the middle of nowhere, and she walks for quite a while. And then she gets into this pretty much abandoned type house or area, and it really looks like the filmmakers of this probably wanted to make a similar type of setting as the house in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one, with all these skeletons hanging around in the ceiling and whatnot. And then she freaks out. The thing that happens next really bothered me, which is basically she wakes up and it just turns out that was just a long nightmare. I always find that to be really stupid and annoying when they do that. I mean, that could work, but not if you have such a large portion of the film where it was just someone walking for ages, and then you're oh, I woke up now, this was just all bullshit. I thought that was really stupid. As for the storyline itself, I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to spoil anything else. I would say the first half of this film is just really boring and dragged out. The most memorable thing about the beginning of the film is this weird sequence in the basement between this. I think it's supposed to be the previous owners or something that are in the basement, and they're having a good time, and they're just covered in blood. I thought that was very strange and kind of fascinating as to how they shot that. But other than that, the first half is just really, really boring. And once it gets going, it's a little bit too late for my taste, because it does have some interesting blood and gore effects towards the end of the film. But I just felt well, you should have thought about that a little bit earlier. And there's also a really funny character that shows up towards the end of the film that I thought, well, that looks like the singer for Wasp, or the vocalist of Wasp. I thought that was really fun. But overall, though, this is a shot on video film that I would say I would only recommend this if you're a hardcore shot on video horror fan. I mean, I'm saying that as a fan of these films in general, so I didn't really like this very much either. Not sure how easy this particular release is to come across, because it states it's a special limited edition, and this was actually kindly sent to me by one of my friends, Tim. And overall, though, I mean, that's probably all I can say about it. The acting is not very good, but then that's what you get when you watch horror, like shot on video films in general. And I mean, the blood and gore effects are good. It's just way too few of those, and the editing is a little bit strange as well from time to time, and camera working is also quite questionable. But according to the director himself, he said that, or like he stated, like in the beginning of the film, like before it started, that this is like the best type of sources we have, because this was pretty much like considered to be lost. So that's the reason why some of the, like the picture quality is pretty bad. But that kind of also captured a special type of atmosphere, in my personal opinion. So what can I else talk about? The score is like quite annoying as well. There's a funny song every now and then as well, but the score itself is just like sounds like some really cheap Casio keyboard, and it's just sort of like sounds like it's because of the quality of the audio and the picture. It kind of seems like it's a broken type of audio. Sometimes I've found that to be really hilarious in general, but in this case, I thought that went on for way too long. And yeah, that's probably about it. That's everything I think I've covered in this particular video, or like in this review. So can I recommend Metal Noir? Well, if you're really a big fan of shot on video films, you just need to get all of those. Give it a shot. You might enjoy it. I gave this a 4 out of 10. It's not absolutely terrible, but it's quite forgettable as well. I just wish they could have had more blood and gore effects, because that's something that you pretty much look for when you look for these films in general. You don't really look for great quality acting or great camera work or a great picture quality. You look for the blood and gore effects in general when you look into some of these films. So, but yeah, that was my review for Metal Noir, 4 out of 10. Like I said, if you like shot on video films, give it a shot. Otherwise, just forget about it. So yeah, Metal Noir. So hope you enjoyed this particular review video. I think I'm gonna make another review right after this video, so we'll see. And also I'm gonna try to make the top 5 of the month for the month of May as well, because I'm kind of delayed on that video. So yeah, keep your eyes open for those videos, and see you next time. Bye bye.